yeah, the first card you have for your past is the Ace of Cups. So yeah, I'm just looking at this card, and what's standing out to me is communion, because I'm looking at this dove holding this wafer. And, you know, it's entering into this golden cup or this chalice, which is what people have in a kind of religious ceremony like that. And, you know, or a traditional kind of ritual or whatever this is. And, you know, sometimes communion can be about... Yes, it can't be about that. Go away. Sometimes communions can be about coming together, because it's about a lot of people sharing the same belief system, coming together, remembering, celebrating, but also it can be about all those things, but also it's very kind of reflective. It can be about you know, reflecting on your own, the good things you've done, the bad things you've done, looking back, kind of examining yourself, and, you know, kind of like emotional reflection. It's kind of all of that as well. So, you know, I'm seeing you actually, but I'm not seeing you doing that. I mean, you might have been doing that. You might have been at church and all of that, but what I'm seeing is that you're having communion with a whole lot, not traditionally, but having like a group of people that you're together with, sharing something, maybe sharing a meal or sharing, you know, a dinner or something like that, having a conversation, eating with a group of people. Now, these people were people who you had, they might have been your family, but you had a very, very close connection with them, because also when you think about the traditional kind of communion that you have in church, people say that the other church members are the brothers and sisters. So that made me think as well that this might be your family. And or they could be close friends, people you consider close enough to be, you know, your siblings. So yeah, you're very I'm getting this very warm, very happy feeling, very contented feeling. You're very comfortable being around all of these people, and you could totally be yourself around all of these people. There's a very deep love between you and some of these people, specifically one of these people. Yeah, I'm not seeing a romantic love. Again, I'm seeing this is about more platonic friends, close friends or family or someone like that. I'm also seeing in your more distant past, because a lot of this kind of religious symbolism that's standing out to me in this is about forgiveness as well, which is what this kind of traditional religion thing is all. I shouldn't say thing, that's terrible, but you know, that's what that's all about. It's about forgiveness. It's about forgiveness. So I'm seeing forgiveness in this as well. And I'm seeing that you might have fallen out with one of these people in this group. One person definitely I'm seeing, but then you made peace with them. That's what I'm seeing as well. So you're able to kind of come together comfortably and share this meal or this dinner or what all these times you're having with this group without any kind of stress around it. And yeah, there's peace. If you look at this beautiful dove, it's peace, obviously. So the next, I hope that wasn't too crazy. The next card you have for your past is the Queen of Swords. So yeah, I'm seeing that maybe you went through a lot of problems, a lot of difficult things in your early life, I'm seeing. I think you probably had to endure a lot, and I think you could have, I think you had to grow up quickly. I think you had to grow up quickly as a child because you endured a lot of things. You went through a lot of problems. And I think as a result of all of this, you might have ended up with a very hard shell. Now, you had a hard shell on the outside, and you probably still do, but you can be soft on the inside. But not many people get to see that side of you. A lot of people only see the hard shell outside of you. So if you look at this queen, she's probably, you know, the Queen of Swords has been through the most of all of the queens. She's been through a lot of things. Some people see her as a widow because she has a bracelet, which is a kind of a traditional widow's bracelet. Women used to wear them when they were widows to show that that's what they were. And because she's been through all of these things, she's a very wise woman. She's very wise. She's also young, though. If you look at her, she doesn't look too old. She looks quite young. So she's young but wise. So you have this toughness, excuse me, of character, just like this queen. And I'm getting this feeling of maybe you were thinking, or you do think this a lot, that people are out for themselves, so I'm out for myself as well. So not in a totally selfish way. It wasn't like you're out for yourself, you're going to rob people and do horrible things. It wasn't like that. It was like people haven't been very kind to me in the past, so why should I be that way? It's that kind of thinking. You do care. You're not a selfish person. That's not what I'm saying. And I think if this resonates, you'll understand what I mean. When you care for people, you really care for them very deeply. You're 100% with them. You're like, I will do anything for you. I'm with you all the way. I'll stand behind you. I'll stand in front of you. I'll take up for you. I'll stand up for you. You're that kind of a person. So when you care, you really care. But what I've seen is because you've been hurt so much and you've been through so much, that you might, you'll probably just do just about anything not to feel that hurt again or feel that terrible feeling again. So that's why you have this tough shell around you. Now, I think it's worked for you well in some ways. You haven't been kind of taken in by a lot of people who wanted bad for you, but it's also been quite not so good for you in other ways, I'm trying to say, because I think this might have caused you to lose out on a lot of potential friends and even potential relationships, because you had this kind of hard exterior, and you still do in some ways. So, not everyone's out for themselves, of course. Some people are, some people aren't, but mostly people are really a combination of everything. We're not all perfect. We're not kind of like heroes in movies or villains in movies. We're not one extreme or the other extreme. Usually people are a combination of all sorts of things. Sometimes their bad side comes out, of course. Sometimes their good side comes out. Sometimes they're selfish. Sometimes they're selfless. We all have a mixture of good and bad. No one is really completely the absolute terrible evil, and no one is completely the absolute angel. Everyone has a bit of everything. So I think, if this resonates with you, instead of assuming that most people are out for themselves, or they're the worst, or they're going to hurt you, or they're going to do whatever, try to discern between people who aren't so bad and the ones who you do want to stay away from. Because if you look at this queen, she has one hand up. She has her sword up, so she's protecting herself from bad things, bad people, bad influences. But she has her hand up, welcoming the good, welcoming the ones that she wants to come toward her. So not everyone's bad. You need to open yourself up a bit more. I'm actually seeing incidents where you might have gotten to know people, you might have had friends, you might have just started to get to know them, and then they might have just said one small thing. They might have looked at you a bit funny, or they might have done a little thing, and then you kind of write them off. You say, I don't want to be around that person anymore, they're bad, and you kind of label them as bad. And they might not have been bad. Obviously, if people do very serious things, yes, you're very right. You're right to kind of cut them off, or not speak to them, or not be around those people. But some people aren't bad. They've just made a few little mistakes, and you need to be a little bit more forgiving. And if you are a little bit more forgiving, you're going to be able to let more people in. Try not to just dismiss people. Think about things in a more rounded way, not in such a kind of good, bad, right, wrong kind of a way. I hope that makes sense. So the last card you have for your past is the Queen of Pentacles. So you have the Queen of Pentacles as well. You have two queens. So again, I'm seeing you being around one specific person. I'm seeing this person was in this group. I was seeing the Ace of Cups. And I'm seeing this is someone who really understands you. This is someone who is really close to you. But you haven't seen them for a long time. You're kind of seeing them again now after a while. That's what I'm getting. So you're spending this time with this person, and you might have been confiding in them, because I think, they're a strong person. They're also a very caring person, and they're a very understanding person. And I think this person understands you a lot better than a lot of other people. Not many people truly understand understand you. I keep on seeing that. And I keep on seeing that you often feel like you're misunderstood. That's what I'm seeing in the Queen of Swords as well. But whoever this is, they're very supportive of you. They're supportive of your goals, and they're supportive of who you are. So they might not fully understand your goals. They might not fully understand your dreams. You might have been telling them that, and they might have been kind of showing you in a way that they didn't quite understand. But it doesn't matter. You have their support. They're on your side. They support you. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing. And I think this is a very special connection that you have with this person. The first card you have for your present is Temperance. I love this card. This is probably one of my favorite cards. This can be about, it can be about a lot of different things, but it can be balance, it can be alchemy, which I love. This is alchemy. I love it so much because it's about changing an object or changing a situation that isn't very good into a much better one, which I love doing. So I'm actually seeing a bit of frustration. I'm seeing a bit of frustration around your work, or it could be a work project or a business or something like that. And you're not unsuccessful in this. It's not like, oh, this is terrible, I need to change it into something better, because what you have is actually quite good. It's fine. Things are progressing, quite well, I'm seeing. But you want to kind of change things even more. You want to progress even more. And you like to change things up. You like to make things interesting as well. But you might not quite know what to do to kind of let yourself do this or change whatever this is. There's a lot of confusion around this. So you're really not sure quite what to do. I'm seeing that confusion in here. You want to grow, you want to change things into something better, but you don't know how to do that. And also you might be a bit afraid that if you change things too much, you might lose what you already have. You might be worried that, because this is about balance as well, so you might think that things might tip out of balance and you might knock everything over and fall and break everything and end up with nothing. You might be worrying about that as well. So if this resonates, I think you might just have to think about, you've got a whole lot of different changes you're thinking about. You're not sure what to do. If I were you, I'd write everything down. I'd look at everything written down in front of me, and I just keep on glancing at all the different options, and even little options, even little things. You can make little changes and sometimes little changes can make a big difference. So look at all big, little, every kind of change, doesn't matter what it is. Might just be waking up early, it might be something really silly sounding, but it makes a big difference. Go through all of that. Look at what stands out to you and feels good to you. When I look at that option, how does it feel to me? When I look at this word, how does it feel to me? When I look at that, how does it feel to me? This will show you which way you need to go and the first one you need to start moving toward and what you need to do to make these changes. So, I think you like to change, you like to do things, you don't like to feel bored. I mean, there's nothing worse than an Aries who feels bored. That's the absolute worst feeling you can feel. So you do want to change, you just don't know how to do this. So I think have a go at what I said. That might help you. It might not, but have a go. That's what I'm seeing. It might kind of, if you write everything down as well, sometimes I think that can really organize your confusion. It gets things out of your head, because sometimes you have things stirring around in your head, kind of like a big washing machine kind of whizzing around. And if you get it out of your head and onto paper, even in point form, it can put some organization around those things. The next card you have for your present is the Ace of Wands. So yes, this is also telling me that you need to try to make a bit of a start. This is the card of action. So as I said, I won't say any more about that because I'm just repeating myself. But yes, writing things down can be a way to get the confusion out of your head, get it down on paper, and then start to look at where you can start to take this action. So try that again. I'm seeing that. I'm also seeing this card, I'm seeing someone who's actually very interested in you romantically, I'm trying to say. And yeah, very, very interested in you. They're very interested in you. But there might be some denial around this, if that makes sense. Whoever this is might be a little bit afraid. They might be afraid of opening up to you. There's something that they care for you, they're attracted to you, there's some roadblock there. Now, I'm seeing also that you're afraid of opening up to them as well. That's what I'm seeing in this card. So, this is a good combination of people. You're a very good combination of people together, but you're a bad combination when it comes to communication, because obviously you're not communicating this to each other. In every other way, you'd make the most amazing couple. You really, really would, but you've got this kind of lack of communication, something stopping you. And yeah, maybe because I'm seeing from the outside looking in, people might see you as a bit of an odd couple in some way. I'm seeing if you did get together, you might be a bit non-traditional in some ways, if that makes sense. Maybe you might be a connection that society might look at a bit differently or something like that. That might be one of the barriers to you. Now, if this is the case, who cares about what people think, basically? Who cares? Who cares if it's having different backgrounds, if it's being a same-sex couple, if it's an age gap, an age difference, if it's one person being really tall and the other one being really short, if it's anything at all, mixed race, anything? Who cares? Who cares? You need to find happiness for yourself. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. And, I keep on seeing how comfortable you are with each other. I keep on seeing that. So, if this is what the barrier is, please try and lose that. Please try and forget about that. Don't worry about what other people think. You might have a more difficult life than a more traditional couple. You might have people around you asking you questions, bothering you, saying things that really are a bit whatever, not very good. But it's worth it. It's worth it because I think this connection's a really good one. It is worth it. And it's worth it because I think if we have more people that aren't what kind of boring people don't like, then great. Then they can get used to it. They can get used to seeing more things that they're not used to seeing. That's a good thing. We need to teach these people a lesson anyway. So the last card you have for your present is the Queen of Wands. So yeah, more wands, more action. So whoever this person is in this love connection or this potential love connection, if you'd both communicate and if you'd both get together and you wouldn't let this roadblock get in your way, I feel like banging your heads together. I really want you to kind of get together if this resonates with you. I think this person really compliments you, actually. You're more like the Fool usually, although you've had problems trying to make these changes in your business, but usually at your heart you are more like the Fool. And you have great ambitions, you have huge ambitions. Sometimes you lose focus, sometimes you lose direction, whereas this other person, they're very focused, they're very organized, they're a lot less intense than you. You're a very intense person, but you could be perfect together. You kind of help each other in different ways. You kind of you add to the other person, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to say. But there's this strange block between you. There's a strange block between you. That's what I keep on seeing. The first card you have for your future is the Seven of Cups. So yeah, this is a really confusing, tricky card. I think this is about your career again, or your business, or this job-related thing, or this project. I think, you're still going to be quite confused about this. You won't know which direction you want to go in. You don't know which direction to take things. And yeah, this card can be about choices, not being able to see clearly. And, I hope this is going to make sense, but try the idea I told you in the Ace of Wands, I think it was, or the Temperance card, I can't remember. Try that, but also try to go... Yeah, what I'm seeing here is try to go inside yourself, because this is a very dreamy card. This is a very kind of introspective card. It's about what's happening inside you. So if you can't work out what to do, try to meditate, maybe, if this is something you do, or try to think about not just your career goals, but think about your goals in person, your personal goals. Because to me, I think that any goals you have for your career need to work toward what you want personally, and spiritually and internally, and what is really going to benefit you as a person inside yourself. So think about, if you don't know kind of where to go, think about how you want to feel in your future. What do you want to personally have in your future? Not in terms of things, but how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel protection, like you're protecting yourself financially, that you want to make sure that you have a kind of a safety net? Do you want to feel like you want to help people in your family? Do you want to feel like you want to just have a simple life? Just live in the forest somewhere in a small house and not be bothered by anyone, and just not have lots of big possessions or anything? Or would you like to be a famous person? All of that is fine if that's what you truly want. Would you like recognition? Would you like no recognition? Would you like to be anonymous? Think about think about what's at your core, what you truly want, and how you want to feel about yourself. And maybe think about which choice leads you to how you want to feel internally. And I think that's a really good way to decide what you want to do, because I think career goals really are all about where they want to lead you personally. That's what I think. I hope that makes sense. I hope that really does make sense to you. The other thing I'm seeing is you might be getting a lot of advice from people, asking them what you should do, and people might be giving you a lot of advice. Try to, of course, if you want to listen to advice, you can do that. That's absolutely fine, of course. But I think this is a very personal decision. This is about you as a person. Other people are going to have very different personal goals than you have. So their answers to what you should do are going to be very different to what your answers for yourself should be or could be or are. So I think you really need to ask yourself more than you are asking other people. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Now, I hope that makes sense. The next card you have for your future is the Nine of Swords. Yes. Yeah, this is what I mean about how intense you are. You're a very intense person. You're very stressed about this. I'm not seeing any need for you to be stressed. And I'm not seeing any big deadlines. I know I said in the Ace of Wands that you should really kind of take some sort of action, but there's no deadline on that action. I'm not seeing any great big terrible deadlines. I'm not seeing any great big terrible hurry for you to do this. This process of you kind of getting inside yourself and working out where you want to be, how you want to feel in your future, is going to take as long as it takes. And everyone's going to come to that conclusion at different times. And if this is what they do, and that's what you're going to have to do. So, take your time, don't rush, don't stress too much about this, don't get so intense about this. Even if you make the wrong decision, even if you make the wrong decision, does it matter really? You can always go and make another decision. You can make another one and another one. At your heart, you're the Fool. You're Aries. So please try not to be this kind of introspective, stressy, anxious person. Try to come out of that if you can. Again, meditating might help you to do that. Get back to your core. Get back to the Fool, someone who just does things, takes risks, goes and does whatever. I'm seeing that again. But also take your time. Take your time and find out ultimately where you truly want to be internally. I hope that makes sense. The last card you have for your future is the Four of Swords. So I'm going to sound like I'm repeating myself again and again. I'm sorry about that, but this is telling me the same thing. Now, I'm seeing a very special thing in this card. Meditating, resting, all of that kind of thing. It's going to help you to find where you need to be personally. It's going to help direct your career goals toward your personal goals, which is what I'm seeing. Now, if you do that, if you align your career goals and all of that kind of thing toward your personal and your spiritual goals, your internal goals, if you do all of that and line it up perfectly, you're going to be blessed. That's what I'm seeing in this card, because I'm looking at this beautiful stained glass window, and it shows a priest blessing someone who's in prayer. They're kneeling in front of the priest, and the priest is blessing this person. If you do this, if you focus on yourself spiritually, on your feelings, on how you feel and how you want to feel in the future, also what you can do to bless other people in your life, and whether these career goals align toward that as well, you will be blessed yourself. That's what I'm seeing in this card.